welcome back to Map the Maze. So this month has been all about getting help. We started off by talking about getting help from professionals and what type of professionals that might be. We talked about having help from family and friends. We talked about how to help yourself, which can be the one thing that you can control. And we also talked a little bit last week about how do you put a team together? What does that even mean? Why is that concept helpful? And today, the last in this 5-week November month of podcasts, was I wanted to talk to you about asking for help. That I work with a lot of people who are struggling to navigate their separation and divorce. And I think for some of them, there is a sense that they need to be able to do this by themselves. They need to do this without support, that maybe other people will judge them or feel like they don't deserve to have support. And I think I would say that's not, from my perspective, at least what I see. That generally, I think people understand that separating and divorcing is one of the most difficult things that anybody will ever experience or go through. And it doesn't matter if you're the person who is being left or the person who's made the decision to leave. It's not easy for anyone. And that particularly when we come to these relationships, we come to the end of a relationship, all of the past hurts, losses, feelings can come flooding back. And that particularly when we experience a loss, there is a very high chance that we will then reconnect with our past experiences of loss. And therefore it can feel like the grief, the strength of that loss is overwhelming. I think most people get that. So I think if you are experiencing separation and divorce, please think about reaching out, whether that is to a professional or to family and friends, that I think people are maybe more understanding than they seem, and that people appreciate that this is not easy, that no one gets through this alone, that you need to have people around you, you need to have people that can support you, because there will be really rough days. Even post mediation, if you've got your arrangements in place, there will still be rough days. You know, there'll be days that I hear clients talk about it all the time. They'll be at an event for their child, and maybe this is a couple of years down the track, but now the new partner is there with their former partner, and that can be hard. That can kind of bring everything flooding back. That it's a really difficult experience, and that I think we get a little bit too enamored of this. I can be brave, I can do it myself. And I think this is one of those times when you just need to say, actually, I need a hand. I need some help to get through this. And definitely if you're working with a professional, whether that's a counselor, a therapist, even if that's a mediator or a family lawyer, they will understand this is really tough, that nobody can do this without some guidance, some help, some support, particularly when, for a lot of people that I work with at least, this is the hardest time in their life. It's the most upsetting thing that they're going to go through. And on top of that, we say, oh, good news. You get to negotiate your arrangements with the person that you probably feel most vulnerable with in the world. And extra good news, you get to try it through mediation, to use a process that you've maybe never encountered, never heard of. I mean, I have had people say to me, I didn't even know that such a thing as mediators existed until I came to mediation for my own divorce. So please be kind to yourself. Yeah, reach out for help. There are people, there are organizations, there are even, call hotlines to call for some help and support, because particularly if you have kids, then chances are you're trying to be strong for them, to be emotionally available for them. But you need to make sure that you are looked after as well. That if you're not in an emotionally healthy place, it's going to be very difficult to provide emotional support for your children. If you don't have children, it's still going to be difficult to be there for your job, for your family and friends, to turn up in your life. So please if you are going through divorce and separation, think about, who have I reached out to for help? Who could I reach out to for help? Who might be available to me, whether that is a family and friend or if it's a professional resource? Because there are people out there who can help. There are even just support groups where you could go and at least talk to people who are experiencing something similar and maybe are a little bit further along in that journey. So could help to sort of say it doesn't last forever. At some stage, you make it through the other side, or even people who are a little bit further back in the process than you, who maybe you could help and say, I remember what that was like. Now I'm a little bit further along. And definitely everyone's experience is different, but I feel like there are some universals that people experience as they're doing this. And to be able to either have other people help you to know that there is a step beyond where you are, there's another stage, that it does get easier, it does get better, or to be able to give that confirmation, that support to somebody who's further back than you, I think is really valuable. So if you've taken anything away from this month of podcasts, please let it be that there is help available out there and that you should reach out for it. That there is absolutely no shame in saying this is hard. Every professional working through this, anyone who's experienced separation or divorce, anyone who's seen it in their family will know this is hard. And so I think really important that you reach out and make sure that you are okay, because at the end of the day, that is who you're going to need to fall back on, that you are going to be the captain of the ship again. Instead of being co-captains where you were having to negotiate and compromise and figure out where everybody wanted to be, you're going to be running your own ship. You're going to be back as captain. And to make sure that you are in the best possible position, you need a little bit of help. So whatever it is that you think you need, whether that's emotional support, psychological support, legal advice, financial advice, think about, how can I best find that? Who is best placed to do that? Talk to different professionals, find somebody, there will be someone who is a good support person, who is someone that can help you to manage through this process and to come out at the other end less damaged, in less pain, and with some sense that actually you're going to make it, that tomorrow is going to be better than today, and next week's going to be better than this week, and next month will be better than this month. So take care. And next month, I'm doing something a little different. It seemed to me that this has been a rough year, a really rough year, and that maybe for December, for year end, we all deserve to have a little bit of fun. So next month, I am doing Nap the Maze Goes to the Movies, and talking about how mediation is represented in movies and in TV shows. So tune in next month and I'll see you next week. Take care.